pega. Shoot him up, man.
Yeah, someone is coming already.
Someone's coming.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Corey. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Chidi.
Hi, Chidi.
I'm Rebecca. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Hello as well.
Hello.
Yes.
So, what do you have for us today?
On behalf of the Take It Back movement, Global, the Canada Directorate, and some concerned Nigerians living in Canada, we are here to present a letter of protest. First of all, to congratulate you and commemorate today, that is the World Human Rights Day, okay? And then secondly, to submit this protest letter against human rights abuses in Nigeria. Within the letter, we have complained about several things which we know has to do with what Amnesty International is known for. So when you go through the letter, you'll be able to see some of the complaints that we have lodged in this letter to be transmitted to your appropriate quarters in Amnesty International.
Wonderful. So,
Yes.
I could take this from you.
I'm going to need you to sign a receipt.
Oh, sure. Sure. Sorry, I don't have come in just for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can sit.
Okay. So, let's stand up and deliver
It's okay.
It's okay like this. Okay, this would be a speech by the Take It Back movement, Global Canada Directorate at Amnesty International Toronto on World Human Rights Day. Ladies and gentlemen, today as we gather to mark the World Human Rights Day, we stand united in our commitment to uphold the fundamental rights and freedoms that every human being deserves. It is a day to celebrate the progress we have made, but also to confront the stark realities of the injustices that persist around the world. We, the Take It Back Movement Global Canada Directorate, are here to draw urgent attention to the unacceptable level of human rights abuses perpetrated by various arms of the government of Nigeria, particularly the judiciary and the police. These are institutions which should be the bastions of justice and protections, but instead they have become instruments of oppression and fear. We highlight the cases of Dele, Farotimi, and Nnamdi Kanu as glaring examples of these gross human rights abuses. Dele Farotimi, a vocal advocate for justice and democracy, has faced relentless persecution for his unwavering stance against corruption and tyranny. His arrest and continued harassment are not just an affront to his personal freedoms, but a chilling message to all those who dare to speak truth to power. Similarly, the case of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, underscores the extent of the Nigerian government's disregard for human rights. His abduction, unlawful detention, and the inhuman treatment he has endured are stark violations of international human rights standards. These actions are not just illegal, they are morally reprehensible. We demand the immediate and unconditional release of all political prisoners and prisoners of conscience in Nigeria. The continued detention of these individuals is a stain on Nigeria's national conscience and a violation of the principles of justice and human dignity. We commend Amnesty International for their tireless work in defending human rights worldwide. Your efforts shine a light on the darkest corners of oppression and gives hope to those who suffer in silence.
Would you like me to read this right now?
You can.
For the record, right? There are those whose actions and then moves will continue to stand the test of a time in the face of a tyranny than those who does nothing. So we now received the report. Hang on, before that, yesterday, there was this image or pictures of Peter Obi visiting the same Ape Babalola in Ekiti, which has really caused a lot of reactions. There are some foolish obedience who said, well, it is a diplomacy. Now, number one, that visit in itself is in a total bad taste. Because to start with, Ape Babalola is saying that everything that Dele Farotimi wrote in his book, that they were lies against him and his reputation, which is the reason why he collaborated with the police to kidnap him. Okay? Dele Farotimi said everything he wrote in his book is true, that if anybody feels slandered, the right thing to do is to sue him and take him to court. So the question now is this: what is diplomatic in this visit? Is it that Peter Obi went there to tell Ape Babalola, right, to forgive Dele Farotimi and forget what Dele Farotimi wrote about him and accept it as the truth? Or did he go to Ape Babalola to apologize on behalf of Dele Farotimi? That is, whatever Dele Farotimi wrote in his book is a lie. So the social media has been agog after this image, trying to give it, what interpretation can you give to that image? Is it to say that Dele Farotimi is sorry and Ape Babalola as a father should forgive him? Therefore, maybe Dele Farotimi is lying in his book. Or did he go there to tell Ape Babalola to accept the truth of Dele Farotimi? As what? So then the obedient are saying, some of you are saying that you are using diplomacy. What diplomacy? What is diplomatic about that? Some of you actually are not really different from the Ronukus. You are not different from the Ronukus in the sense that there are some of you as typical Nigerians who believes that some people are untouchable. In fact, I have seen some of you saying Peter Obi is trying to mediate so that Dele Farotimi will not go to jail. Like, are you being serious? Are you indirectly, accepting or saying that what Dele Farotimi wrote in his book is defamatory? Is that what some of you are saying in order because you want to defend Peter Obi? What exactly did Obi go and do with Ape Babalola? In a common sense thing, like in this situation that you have found yourself right now. What exactly was that visit about? Oh, I just went there to say hello to him. We did not talk about Dele Farotimi. Maybe. That's exactly not what those who are handling him are saying. They said he is trying to find the common ground. He is trying to find, what do you call it, to make peace. What kind of peace? This is supposed to be a court case, right? So it's either the two things. Ape Babalola would accept that Dele Farotimi was wrong. Happy? So which means for peace to reign, Dele Farotimi then must have lied. Or what? I mean, if he had limited his visit to when he went to see Dele Farotimi, because there's also an image of him at the correctional center where Dele Farotimi is locked up. Well, that would have made a lot of sense. But visiting Ape Babalola in the heat of this whole face-off is an indirect way, as the Ronukus are already saying, that he went to go and beg Ape Babalola. Dele Farotimi said nobody should beg on his behalf, speak to these guys on his behalf. If anybody feels slighted, right, the right thing to do is to sue him. Not anyone trying to now possibly go around and say they are making peace. What kind of peace do you want to make for somebody who said they lied against him? I mean, to Ape Babalola, Dele Farotimi lied. To Dele Farotimi, no, I didn't. I told the truth. And if you feel like I lied against you, right, then sue me. Not use the police to kidnap me. So what peace is Peter Obi? What peace is Peter Obi trying to make here? So to some of you, supposed obedient, that I will probably call you the obedient. That visit is in bad taste. And there are so many of you like that in your stupidity that believes that if they didn't beg Ape Babalola, Dele Farotimi will go to jail. So that is your own way of what? Accepting the rotten, corrupt, oppressive system that these cowards are hiding behind. They are not bold enough. Ape Babalola is not bold enough to face Dele Farotimi in court. A 60 and 70 years old lawyer, somebody who has been practicing law for 70 years, should know every nook and cranny of the law, which simply means begging you to forgive him is not applicable. The only person that can beg Ape Babalola is Dele Farotimi. If Dele Farotimi comes out and say, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. And do you know what that means in law? Dele Farotimi will first of all write an apology letter, which will be published in all the Nigerian dailies. And not just that, it would have to go on the same TV everywhere to say, what I wrote in my book is a lie. But they locked Dele Farotimi up. They don't want to face him in court. And they are using the same court to ensure that he will never have a chance of defending himself per se, like as he should be. So that visit is in bad taste. And the majority of you are calling it a diplomacy, diplomatic, diplokine. Anyway, we have now received the report that this guy, this Akpari, sorry to apologize to those of you who are Akparis, okay? Because that's the way I see this mofo. Now, this Akpari is now called the partner. They say he's a managing partner with Ape Babalola, right? So, he is now suing Dele Farotimi, right, for defamation. And according to him, he is suing Dele Farotimi for 500 million naira. Okay, not just that, he wants all the money made from the sale of that book to be given to him. This is not Ape Babalola. This Wiri was not mentioned in that book. But rather than Afe Babalola himself to actually sue Dele, he is not doing it. He has been using proxies. Because you know something, if Afe Babalola sues Dele directly, they will put Afe Babalola in the dock. Dele's defender, what do you call it? Defense lawyers. They will put Afe Babalola inside the dock and question him on some of those allegations, some of those exposés. He doesn't want to do that. That is why right now they have a case, the police IG case. They have the police commissioner case. Now they have this. This is, you see, normally, right? Normally, this is what should have been the first step and the only step. This whole thing shouldn't involve, it should not have involved the police at all. But we all know why the police is involved. Here you get. The name of this guy is Kehinde Ogunwumiju. Kehinde Ogunwumiju, on behalf of the Afe Babalola, is suing Dele Farotimi. They want the publication of the book to stop. All the bookshops that have the book must stop selling it. All the online platforms selling the book must stop selling the book. And the money made from the sale of the book, which has been donated to charity organizations helping the children with special needs, must be given to them. And 500 million naira in damages. There is another weary in Ibadan who has also sued Dele Farotimi. According to this summon, his name is Adebayo Adenipekun. Now, Adebayo Adenipekun, that one has gone to Ibadan court. Okay? I think it should be the Ibadan High Court. Okay? And according to him, they have summoned Dele Farotimi that you are hereby commanded that within 30 days of this service of this writ on you, inclusive of the day of such service, you do cause an appearance to be entered for you in an action at the suit of Adebayo Adenipekun. And take notice that in default of your doing so, the claimant may proceed therein and judgment may be given in your absence. So this one too is suing Dele Farotimi because of the book. Man, this is going to be interesting. However, the people that are suing Dele Farotimi, they are doing so in defense of Afe Babalola. And Afe himself is hiding, tucked away inside his university in Ekiti, his private university. He will never sue Dele directly. And currently, the magistrate court in Ekiti has now adjourned the ruling on whether to allow Dele Farotimi to go on bail or not. So the 28th of December. Dele Farotimi did not commit any crime. No crime known to law. He has done nothing wrong than to expose criminals who call themselves elder statesmen in that corrupt contraption. And there are on-boot slaves, sophisticated morons, voluntary slaves that believes that you dare not challenge the powerful people. And majority of them have been looking for a day like this, a time and a period like this, where everyone that has been so bold to confront the criminals ruining Nigeria one way or the other spoke up many times. Majority of these lily-livered cowards, sewage dwellers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the voluntary slaves, right, to name but a few, they have always wanted any outspoken person against this APC, right? They've always wanted them to be locked up. And to them, Dele Farotimi is a perfect candidate that should be locked up so that they can serve as a deterrent to a lot of people that might want to try to challenge the corrupt system in Nigeria, like Dele has challenged them many times. Dele knows that he is likely not going to get justice in Nigerian courts. But in his words, he believes that not 100% of the people in the judiciary, not 100% of them is corrupt. There are still some that have been so suppressed within the rank and file of that same judiciary that will still pretty much stand by justice. So if anyone is afraid of anyone, it is actually those people who feel so powerful. But they are a bunch of cowards. Cowards who can't really face a man that doesn't even have the same clout as they have. So we expect more and more, we expect more and more courts, John Dice court cases springing up from everywhere. Because that is what Dele Farotimi exposed about the gigantic corrupt judiciary in Nigeria. There will be so many lawyers, expectedly, that will still file some stupid cases, all at least to keep him and make him busy. So he said it in the last, he said, bring it on. If they ever feel like they are slandered, don't beg anybody. Don't beg anyone. In history, we've had lawyers, human rights lawyers, that have challenged status quo. It was in this same life that late Gani Faweyimi also called F.R.A. Williams. You remember the Baba F.R.A. Williams in Elupeju? Yeah, he's dead now. He was also called a legal luminary. But when Gani Faweyimi who called him out, he called him a criminal that has corrupted the judiciary. Guess what? F.R.A. Williams also used exact thing that this Afe Babanlaole is doing to put Gani Faweyimi in jail for defamation. Yeah. But when it was time for that same accusation or that allegation to actually be confronted in court, at the end of the day, it got thrown out. Right? So a lot of people that never knew about Dele Farotimi's book, they are all getting their copies now. Tens of thousands of these books, of this book, has been sold. People have bought the book, gifted a lot of people all over the world. Some are even packaging the book as a Christmas gift for young people all over the world. Tens of thousands of the book have been sold. And guess what? A lot of people who have read the book have said, wow. So these guys are a bunch of criminals, true. So this is what they are trying to see if they can possibly bury. It is too late. It is too late now to bury anything. And if any of you have any contact of a Peter Obi, he should sit somewhere. He should sit or sit this one out. There is no peace, let's do peace, this, peace, that. Except if you are actually like a slave, hiding inside the obedient movement. There are some of you who are not different from the Ronukus. You are not different from the Ronu bastards. You are not different from the Bat idiots. The only thing you are using to hide is to hide behind you want a better Nigeria, a working Nigeria, in a way that, Obi is a gentleman. Of course he is. But if he has any advisor at all, this is now a legal matter. Dele Farotimi will never appreciate anybody going to beg Ape Babanlaole. He never begged him. He repeatedly said, if he knew that they would come for him, or if they were going to come for him, they should do so legally, not through this shady, corrupt police system in Nigeria. So there will be many cases that everybody is shouting defamation. Does not actually really mean that they have any reason to jail Dele Farotimi. That is why they would not want to confront him in court. Rather, they will use the same corrupt judiciary that Dele has exposed to keep him in jail. And so what? How many of you that pretend to be free today is free? How many of you that are walking about that are not locked up in jail or locked up in any prison is actually free in your own country? A lot of you are actually walking prisoners. The only difference between you and those in prison is that you are not locked up in a four-walled fence or four-walled house. You are not different from prisoners. A lot of you have become prisoners in your own country. You can't talk. You can't react. You can't protest. You can't criticize. And you still think you are free. No, you're not. No, you are not. So you should rather mourn